Nelson Mandela once said, "People respond in accordance to how you treat them." And after 27 years in prison, he did not seek revenge. He chose empathy. And with that choice, he transformed a nation. Today, we'll discover how empathy can heal our divided political landscape, just like it did in South Africa. This video is for you if you're tired of polarized political conversations and want practical tools to create meaningful dialogue that actually leads to progress. Be sure to stay until the end, save the video for later, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so that you don't miss my next episode. Hello, I'm Dr. RB. I'm a licensed psychologist in Florida and New York. If you're returning back to my channel, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm so glad you found your way. This channel is a sacred space where depth psychology meets ancient wisdom and where spirituality, human design, and therapeutic tools come together to guide personal transformation. My mission is to help you reconnect with your authentic self and divine guidance so that you can navigate this rapidly changing world with clarity, purpose, and peace. Today, we're exploring how empathy can transform political conversations from battlegrounds to bridges. Now, I don't know about you, but in the last probably 5 years, maybe even longer, my own family has been divided because of these political conversations. When people come together and everyone is set on their ways, a bridge can't be built and a chasm remains. So that's what we're going to talk about, because for me personally, this has been very difficult within my own family, and I totally get it. So if you're having the same situation with your family or friends, we even see it on White Lotus, then this video is for you, definitely. When Nelson Mandela emerged 27 years from prison, he had every right to be bitter, and instead, he chose empathy. Mandela, often called a giant of empathy, demonstrated this quality in profound ways. While imprisoned on Robben Island, he learned his jailers' language and culture. He treated them with kindness and respect, and helping one prepare even for his exams. After becoming president, Mandela could have pursued vengeance. Instead, he worked closely with F.W. de Klerk, South Africa's last apartheid-era president, to negotiate a peaceful transition to democracy. Despite their vastly different backgrounds and ideologies, Mandela's willingness to empathize with de Klerk fostered mutual respect and collaboration. Perhaps most memorable was when Mandela donned the Springbok rugby jersey, a symbol deeply associated with white South Africans, during the 1995 Rugby World Cup. This simple act of empathy spoke volumes, showing white South Africans that they belonged in the new South Africa. Mandela showed us that empathy isn't just a moral virtue. It's a pragmatic tool for resolving conflicts and achieving political progress. So, what makes empathy so powerful in political conversations? Empathy helps us understand perspectives different from our own. It really breaks down the stereotypes and assumptions that fuel animosity between political factions. Research shows that cross-partisan empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of those across the political aisle, significantly reduces partisan hostility. When we practice empathy, we're more likely to find common ground in critical issues. Think about a time when someone truly listened to understand your perspective, not just to respond. How did you feel? You felt valued, respected, open to further conversation, right? That's the power of empathy in action. It creates space for genuine connection, even amid disagreement. Here's something fascinating. Empathy actually makes you more persuasive. Studies have shown that when we empathize with opponents, really seeking to understand their value, concerns, and motivations, we craft more compelling arguments. You see, empathy is really about having an understanding. It doesn't mean you agree. It doesn't mean that you uphold another view or another person's behavior. It means that you can understand. And that's very important to remember. Instead of trying to win a debate, we're really building mutual understanding. We speak of what truly matters to the other person rather than talking past them. When we approach political conversations with empathy, we're no longer trying to defeat an opponent. We're working together to find solutions that address everyone's core concerns. Empathetic communication creates a sense of inclusivity and belonging, which is essential in our polarized environment. Leaders who demonstrate empathy foster trust among diverse groups. This trust enables them to unite people around shared goals and values, even when they disagree on specific policies or approaches. Think about political figures who've earned respect across the party lines. What sets them apart? Often, it's their genuine concern for all constituents and their ability to communicate that concern authentically. Empathy doesn't mean abandoning your principles. Rather, it means recognizing the humanity in those who disagree with you and finding ways to bridge differences while maintaining your integrity. Empathy-driven conversations require vulnerability and humility. They invite us to share our views without fear of judgment or backlash. This openness counters the self-censorship that becomes so common in political discourse. Many people avoid political conversations entirely because they fear rejection and conflict, myself included. But when we create empathetic spaces, people feel safe in expressing their genuine thoughts and concerns. And that's what we want. This authenticity is the foundation of honest dialogue and meaningful progress. By approaching political conversations with curiosity rather than judgment, we invite others to share their true perspectives, and we might be surprised by the common ground we discover. Empathy reduces conflict between opposing groups and promotes collaboration even in contentious situations. In Finland, for example, the Empatia LA project illustrates how empathy can transform political culture. This initiative creates tools for more human-centered governance, focusing on citizens' lived experiences rather than abstract ideologies. When governance is approached with empathy, policies become more responsive to people's actual needs and concerns. This responsiveness, in turn, increases public trust in institutions and encourages civic engagement. The result is a virtuous cycle. Empathetic governance leads to better policies, which builds public trust, which enables more collaborative approaches to problem solving, and then over again. Globally, we're experiencing what some researchers have called empathy deficit, declining levels of empathy that hinder innovation, growth, and recovery efforts. In my work in leadership development across many different organizations, we find the same thing. One of our most requested classes is around empathy and emotional intelligence. This deficit is particularly evident in political discourse, where opponents are often vilified rather than understood. Social media algorithms and partisan news sources can really amplify this tendency, creating echo chambers that rarely challenge our existing views. But empathetic leadership is increasingly recognized as a vital skill for navigating complex challenges, fostering inclusivity, and driving collective success. By cultivating empathy in our own political conversations, whether that's online, At a dinner table or in a community forum, we can begin to heal this deficit one interaction at a time. So, how can we better develop greater empathy in political conversations? First, practice active listening. Focus on completely understanding the other's perspective before formulating your response. Ask clarifying questions like, can you help me understand why that matters so much to you? Second, seek diverse information sources. Intentionally expose yourself to thoughtful voices from across the political spectrum. This exposure helps develop your empathetic muscles. Third, find shared values. Even in profound disagreement, we often share core values like security, freedom, and compassion. We just prioritize them differently or see different paths to achieving them. Fourth, humanize your political opponents. Remember that people's political views are shaped by their life experiences, their values and concerns, not by malice or ignorance. Finally, practice a lot of patience. Empathy in political conversations is a long game. Don't expect immediate breakthroughs, but trust that each empathetic exchange is like planting seeds for future understanding. By prioritizing empathy in political conversations, we can move beyond entrenched divisions toward meaningful dialogue, consensus, building, and progress. Like Nelson Mandela, we can choose to see the humanity in those who oppose us. We seek understanding before agreement, and in doing so, we can transform our political landscape one conversation at a time. Empathy serves as a powerful catalyst for healing divides and shaping a more collaborative future. In a world that often feels hopelessly divided, this approach really offers not just hope, but a practical path forward. If today's message resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe, like, and share. It helps this work reach those who really need it the most. You can also find me on Substack. I'll have the links down below for deeper dives and personal reflection. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, you are guided, you are loved, and your path is sacred. Until next time, take good care of your soul